And one of the things that people sometimes do to try to make it even, I'm sure I've done this, is I will insist that I can reassure you with whatever would reassure me.
Yeah.
That's how I invoke fairness in this particular situation.
And then even accidentally disparaging each other because it's not working.
Because it's not, that's right.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's
no,
not,
I would feel good if somebody told me this. And
yeah.
that brings us
Yeah.
back to how this is an ongoing, like reassurance isn't something we check off a list and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Reassurance is being in the relating.
Welcome to Playing with Fire, the podcast for people who are ready to custom build their love.
We're talking about non-monogamy, however you design it, as an individuation opportunity.
Want to leave the default and make your life spectacularly you? You're in the right place.
Ken, I want to have a conversation with you about some concepts that I think are related, but I'm going to say I think this is a bit of a freestyle here. This isn't a direct listener question. This is just some stuff I've been pondering as I work with lots of different people.
Well, thanks for inviting me into your pondering.
Yeah. So let's start with some big topics that come up. The three big things that have been on my mind that I feel like are interwoven are reassurance, appreciation, and reciprocation.
Okay.
But the question that was on my mind when I woke up today was, so many people in my work, they know they need reassurance, right? They're opening their relationship, or their partner is now having a new type of relationship, or their partner's having a game-changing relationship, or they've entered into a new phase of life. Maybe they're starting to have kids together and they're still non-monogamous and they're like, oh, okay, this adds a whole new layer. Or maybe now they're living apart. I have clients who are now living on separate continents, but they're still in intimate relationship, and also living thousands of miles apart. The desire for reassurance keeps coming up. And I want to validate people's desire to feel reassured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think I also want to dig into it and kind of just poke around it. What exactly is that? What does it look like to reassure each other?
Well, so let's start with, what is reassurance?
Okay, I was working on this because yes, this is important. I looked at some regular definitions of it. I want to tweak. Can we have a Jolie definition of it? Because,
well, it's a Jolie conversation. I think we should.
Okay, the dictionary definitions felt a little stiff, but what I like is the idea. Reassurance is all the actions I take and the words I say and the ways that I engage with you that are in service of easing your doubts and fears.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
So I like this definition because I can't guarantee that the words I say and the actions I take will actually get rid of your doubts and fears.
Yep.
But I can move in the hope, in the service of easing your doubts and fears. And this also makes space for the fact that we're not looking for perfection here. Like to reassure someone while also not forcing them to be like, okay, I've been reassured. Now I don't have anything to fear. That doesn't feel helpful either, right? So I think to offer reassurance is also to sit in the ambiguity of, okay, I hear you, I feel your actions, and I still have some doubts and fears because I'm a human. And especially if the thing we were wanting reassurance around is something that we've either never experienced before. So let's say you're brand new to having overnights, or you're brand new to your partner having an in-love relationship, or you're brand new to parenting while being in an open relationship. Okay, you don't have anything to base this on. So even if your partner offered some sort of like exquisitely delicious forms of reassurance, it's brand new. You don't have the experience. But also, if it's a long pattern of you looking for reassurance, getting it, and then and then the stuff that you were hoping wasn't going to happen happens again. And so your fears are based on patterns of being disappointed, having your expectations thwarted.
The very reasonable assertion that the actions that you take in service of easing your doubts and fears depend on the doubts and fears. Like, you have to know what they are.
It depends on the doubts and fears, depends on the nervous system and the trauma history of
Yep,
the
the individual, the
person that
history of
you're
the
relating
person.
to. It also would depend on um, what's the intensity level of this exploration,
Oh,
and then what's the overall, like,
what's at
how full
stake?
is, and what's at stake, and how full is your threat bucket already? Like,
Oh, yeah.
if I'm the one who's having doubts and fears and my threat bucket is already full because my partner's out of work, and I've got a kid who's sick in the hospital, and I've got some big challenges on my own work plate. That's all just the stuff that's actually happening in my
That's
life.
today, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Recognize
okay.
the list.
My threat bucket is pretty full, and yet also I have these other ongoing doubts and fears.
Yep.
So, yep, when my threat bucket's full now, these doubts and fears are just, they push me over the top. I'm overflowing at times. And so the reassurance you offer me may be very effective and still only help just so much because I'm also dysregulated in all these
Right.
other big ways.
Sure. Right. So the reassurance efforts, you can't measure if there is such a thing as an objective effectivity against 2 weeks ago. A particular set of actions may have been completely reassuring,
Yeah.
but now today, with everything that's going on, they wouldn't do the whole job.
Right. So that's where I thought this would really be a conversation. This is more of like a topic for us to chew on rather than a set of instructions that I want to pass along, because I think experiencing reassurance is very different from, it's different day to day. It's different by individual. It's different. It's different from what my partner likely experiences as reassurance.
Yep.
For instance, I have noticed you, obviously, this isn't the total picture, but if I offer you words alone as reassurance, it doesn't work terribly well. You
That's true.
tend to do better if I can offer you physical touch in concert with words. That's not been true for everyone I've ever been partnered with. In fact, I have had some partners who physical touch while they're trying to receive reassurance feels overwhelming because now they're monitoring too many things. And so for them, it's better to sit across from me and be able to look into my eyes and receive the words fully, right? So we can talk about what it is, what are the ingredients, but I think I'm ready to stand by this being a no recipe where there's a bunch of ingredients and how you put them together to help your partner to ease their doubts and fears without trying to fix them, without trying to fix your partner feeling a way about things isn't a thing to fix. And we can also help each other. Both of those are true at the same time.
So what would you say the ingredients are?
So what came to mind as I was thinking about this is witnessing, empathy, and validation. So those are the ingredients in the Imago dialogue as well. Like, I witness their full story, I empathize deeply, and I validate their experience. So those ingredients, but also ongoing appreciation, and maybe the one that feels the trickiest is that reciprocation that I talked about at the opening. Building a relationship where reciprocity feels like the norm, right? Reassurance feels very easeful to me if I believe, if I have a lived experience of my partnership being one where we are mutual. Robin Wall Kimmerer has that beautiful line from Braiding Sweetgrass, and in the Service Berry, she writes, "All flourishing is mutual." If I believe that, if that's how my relationship feels, that as my partner flourishes, I can flourish, and we will support each other in myriad ways that are both differentiated and deeply, individually, uniquely toned, and also always take into account everybody in this relational dynamic.
The mutuality.
Yeah, mutuality, exactly. So, okay, so witnessing and validation and empathy and appreciation, reciprocation and mutuality. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of words.
I think we can put some stuff together out with these ingredients.
Yeah. Okay. So working from the premise of a no recipe,
Yep.
I'm thinking about like, I have a New York Times cookbook, which cracks me up because it's the only kind of cookbook I can actually use. It's just basically every page is just a picture and a list of suggested ingredients you might want to include and a couple of methods you might want to consider. And there's really nothing else. It's just like, here's what a stir fry might look like. Go open your fridge. To me, that's where reassurance thrives, right? Reassurance is where I look at what am I currently resourced with? What do I have to offer? And where can I meet my partner right now?
Mhm.
And also take into account, like, what am I reading? What's happening with my partner right now? What's going on? And if there are two of us in this particular connection where we're looking for reassurance right now, can we both do that? Can we actually be together in this puzzle
Mhm.
of doubt and fear?
So I hear in that sentence that isolation is. I'm trying to find the right way to say it. You'll want to bridge any isolation that there is as part of the reassurance process. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So as we've been talking through several episodes recently about, and I've stressed the need for differentiation,
No.
the need for us to be able to tell where the other stops and I start, the difference between their opinions and feelings and needs and wants and my own. And at the same time, yeah, I need to be able to fully take in the other
Yeah.
as they are, and not accidentally isolate myself or them in the name of differentiation.
Yeah. I
Because
think I've done
differentiation
that
isn't
and
isolation.
actually ended up with you needing reassurance as a result of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to differentiate. It turns into a sort of isolation. And now it's like, wait, what are we doing?
Right. Okay. So if we're talking about easing, let's use for example, that one person in an established couple, or an established polycule, if one person in particular is feeling a lot of doubts and fears, the way they might describe that might be that they're feeling tender, they're feeling confused, they're feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling like something's not working. We do a check-in every time I start a circle of the year of opening. We do a check-in, and everybody checks in briefly. And that's a time when often we'll hear that there's one or more people in the room who are just feeling tender, just feeling something. And very frequently behind that tenderness is doubt or fear. And one of the things we can do in a group setting, even though we are separated, we're all just on our Zoom screens, is to witness each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Yeah.
the beauty of this is that the reassurance begins to be eased from the source, right? The source, the person who's feeling fear offers up, I feel,
Oh, I see.
they
Mm-hmm.
offer their authentic experience of, I feel this, whatever it is. And in doing so, they open the door for us to all make space to witness them exactly as they are. To be witnessed in itself is an ease. And that's one of the things that I noticed right away. And relating to you, even just as we became closer friends before we were romantically involved, I noticed that if you were tuned in, you were all the way tuned in. Like you would turn all of your focus to me, and it felt really good. I felt how there was an openness to,
Mm-hmm.
I'm being actually seen right now. And not everybody has that. And there are a lot of things that can interrupt that. So if one of the ingredients is witnessing the other, then we need to put away our phones in that moment.
Yeah.
Or we need to close any other tabs we've got open. If we're looking at a Zoom screen, like, yeah, I know it's tempting to have all the other things, but that's the moment right there. So the door gets opened. The stating of the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, the lack of vision, the lack of yummy vision for the future, all of that is an opportunity to say, oh, wait, this is a witnessing moment. This is a moment where I can turn my attention. And I see a lot of people struggle with this because they feel like they shouldn't have to keep giving reassurance.
Oh, like it's like it confers a permanent state of
I think
assurance.
this comes from our own personal wounding.
Oh,
I see many people struggle because they want to be able to offer reassurance, and then they want to be believed. Like, no, I already told you this is okay, so just believe me.
yeah.
And there are a lot of ways, like we could dig into all the personal psychological material that's in there around like, no, I told you, so please believe me and feel reassured. Please do not fear because I have made it clear that I'm here and I'm in this and our agreements are
Yeah.
steady. But the act of asking for reassurance is also an act of asking for intimacy. It's asking to be witnessed. It's asking to be seen as you are, even if that means every single day I bring to you similar sets
Mhm.
of insecurities, doubts, fears, worries, concerns. So offering, witnessing, and then validation, the simple validation of, I see you, right? The mirroring of like, I see you. I see that the big feelings are back. They're up. You're afraid that maybe we've walked into something we can't handle, or maybe this is all just too much. Or maybe we just don't even know what we're doing.
So there's a visibility,
Yeah.
visibility and transparency aspect of this, which you mentioned at the beginning. Like the person wanting reassurance makes their wish known. They start the process of of visibility and transparency, and now
And
you go ahead.
I don't think that's the only way it can go, though,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
certainly, I mean, when I'm in a professional capacity, one of my jobs is to attune
Yep.
to the other that I'm working with. And as I attune to them, to notice, oh, this person needs something, like to tune in and recognize that. And
Hmm.
that is something that comes easier for some people than others. Attunement, like we can hone that skill, we can
Yeah, it's
get
a
better at
skill.
it, but also we're all wired differently, and some
Yep.
people struggle with it. So the ability to offer that I see you
Yeah.
before you've even made yourself transparent, before you've even asked.
I mean that I know
Some
that.
people really struggle with it, but also
Yep.
it can land really, really juicy and yummy.
Yeah. It can feel intrusive, or it can feel like extra seen.
Yeah, right. But it can also land as like, wait, no, I didn't say that.
Hmm.
So what if I'm feeling insecure? That's none of your business. So
Yep.
this is about getting to know, like, how do each of us actually feel
Yeah.
reassured? How do each of us feel good in this relationship? How do each of us feel about giving and receiving the action of being witnessed, of being seen? That's going to be different for everyone.
Yep.
So the other thing that's standing out to me here is the ability to empathize without accidentally making it about me.
Yeah.
Right. So when I offer reassurance, and I see a lot of people struggle to offer reassurance because they're immediately thinking about how they would deal with this fear. And so they accidentally flip too soon, flip
Yep.
really, really quickly into how they would deal with it. But your partner's not you.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to miss the opportunity to really get to know them. The framework of the Imago dialogue, where we actually work through the steps of witnessing and mirroring, and then validating the feelings and empathizing without moving too quickly, could be really helpful in this way. So I
Yeah.
think we talk about the Imago as reparative, but I would definitely say it can be for those subtle needs of reassurance as well. So we have a specific episode 129 on the Imago dialogue. We also have a YouTube list of examples. I think we should do one about reassurance soon. Let's do an example set
Oh, that sounds fun.
on reassurance. Okay, we'll
Hmm.
add that to the playlist before this comes out, I'm sure. And also that's a scripted conversation, which I know feels clunky for some people. So I think these ingredients can also be used in a less scripted way. We
Yep.
could also just, mix these together. But that still brings me to back to what does it mean for me to receive reassurance? Do I know myself? Can I even do I even know what it is that I want? Do you know what you want, like how you want to be reassured? And is it the same for everyone, or?
I know for sure that what I want to be reassured varies moment to moment, context to context. And I also know that sometimes there are parts of me that refuse it. Even when I want it, they will just absolutely not accept it.
Oh, what sort of parts are those of you?
Resentful, angry ones. Like, so fear will oftentimes turn to anger.
Yeah.
And
Mine does.
when I get angry, reassurance feels like, oh, I don't think I knew this. Reassurance feels like a request not to be angry.
Oh, okay. So now we're getting into it. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I was hoping for. It's what does it mean to be reassured if I am feeling fearful and the way that you support me it lands for me, even though you might not have this intent. If it lands as stop being worried.
Yep.
You have nothing to worry about. Yep. Or it's really not that bad, or we already made this agreement, or we've done this before.
Yep.
Then
that's actually a request. I that lands for me, those things, as a request not to feel it. And that's not the same as reassurance.
Okay. So I'm hearing, as we puzzle through this, the need to stay in the ambiguous, to stay in the unresolved, and to not try to resolve the doubts and fears, which really now I feel better about having. I didn't like the original definition I found. It was the original definitions that I found all talked about the act of removing someone's doubts and fears. And that feels like, one, that's not, like, that can't be my job. I can't guarantee that. Like, what am I doing? Going in there with a welding mask and I don't know what's happening right now. But I can be in service to the easing of your doubts and fears. But in order to do that, I need to know enough about you, or you need to be able to convey to me what you need.
Yep.
And we both need to be flexible enough to realize that it's not always going to work the same. That there are times where a quick pat on the back and it's going to be okay, little buddy. we got this. It's going to be fine.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Yep. And other times I'm going to feel like, are you kidding me? Did you just tell me it's going to be fine? Now I want to bite your face.
Yep.
So, okay.
So it was from you that I learned that I could actually ask for reassurance and just say, I feel, I don't know, scared of something. Will you tell me whatever it is I want to hear?
Well, there's the thing, not just ask for reassurance, because I think most people will ask for reassurance, but we worked really hard on, no, tell me exactly what it is you want to hear and feel. So we do a lot of, can you wrap your arms around me right here on my body?
Yep.
And tell me these words. Yes. Yes, I can. And I might not be available for something you ask, but the thing is, it's so easy to be a full yes to things that I know, yes, this is exactly what you need. So it's really easy then to lean into providing that.
Yep.
Now, sometimes the things that we ask for reassurance are things that, won't always be available to us. Right. Lots of people ask for reassurance through, would you please cancel that date? Because I want to receive proof that you will choose me over everyone else. And now we have a real puzzle in our hands, because if what you're looking for is the reassurance of they will cancel for you, like that's, we're really into you got to dig in. Are you hoping then to find out that you have some level of control over your situation, over your life? Are you hoping to experience a sensation of I get to decide what my metamors have access to? Because now we're into really dicey territory about if I've agreed that we're practicing this open relationship and we've agreed to the terms of like how frequent dates are and we've agreed to like how this works for us, me wanting you to prove to me that you will hurt someone else so that I can feel good. And I've been on the sticky end of that situation. It sucks to experience someone canceling on you because their partner just wants to know that you'll do it. It sucks. So I understand the desire for that reassurance, but it really calls into question, does this actually align with your ethical framework? Does it really? But that requires taking a hard look at the fact that you can have doubts and fears, and then you can ask for those doubts and fears to be eased in ways that are in alignment with your ethics or out of alignment. And for me, if I'm asking for something that I actually know that I'm like, yeah, this is actually like, this feels really gross and I want it anyways, usually right then I'm acting from a really childlike part of me. There's one of my child parts is like, I don't care, give it to me anyways. And at that moment, I have the opportunity to interact with myself, right? Like self to inner child. But I also have the opportunity to name like, oh, my little child wants you to cancel this date.
Yeah. Just to say it.
I'm going to say it. So I am not asking you to do that, but I have this childish part that really, really wants you to prove to me that you will choose me at any moment by canceling this date right now. And the grown-up, mature, wise part of me recognizes that that is not the only way that I could be reassured. But right now, I'm sitting with both of those parts.
Yeah,
and the child's pretty loud.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And that comes up and drives you towards, what was it you said? A form of reassurance that might not line up with your values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this also brings us into reciprocity. Like I see, if we're going to be looking for a mutually beneficial relationship system, which ideally, I hope that's what we're all looking for, right? We're looking for mutuality in our relationships. Then when I ask for reassurance, sometimes it'll be, I can be tempted to ask for samesies. I want you to do what I would do, and I want me to do what you would do. I want us to all do the same thing.
Right.
I want you to reassure me. I want to know for sure. For instance, I could imagine saying, I will cancel dates for you because I want you to cancel dates for me. I will never go on an overnight because I don't want you to ask me for overnights.
Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that desire to like, is that reciprocity or is that trying to keep everything still within my control? I don't have to experience anything as dissonant or difficult because my partner wants things that maybe I don't want. And now we're really into a question that I find really challenging, which is a lot of people that I've worked with, they struggle with fairness, like wanting things to be fair and wanting to be reassured that things will be fair. And I'm, of course, immediately thinking about the 100 million times that I was told as a child, yeah, life isn't fair. And I'm glad that I grew up with that message. I am. I mean, I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing to hear that life isn't fair. We can strive toward mutuality. But fairness from that little child part of me often actually just looks like, let's make everything level and flat.
Yep.
Let's make everything the same. So that can look like, so we have to do the same things for each other, even though we don't both feel reassured, even though we both don't. Things. Yeah. And that's where I see people pretty frequently, in fact, say like, okay, so since my partner has this like rule for me, they want me to agree to not have sex with any new people on a first date. Okay, no sex on the first date. But I don't need that from them. But I need them to give me something.
Yeah.
I just need them to give me something. It doesn't even have to be the same thing. It has to be something. Some people will say, no, it just has to be the same thing. I think this is another way of seeking reassurance. It's like it's kind of down in the weeds now,
Oh,
but like
okay.
I want the reassurance that things will be fair overall. Will this feel fair?
Yeah, and you say that, and what comes to mind, I don't know how accurate it is that like I'm feeling it in my own body. Okay, I'm going to reach for fair because fair will like provide these like equal forces, and the result is nothing will change.
Mm.
It's like an attempt to maintain status quo,
Yeah, maintain like the
homeostasis. Yeah,
homeostasis. Like, okay, and that can be a reach toward safety.
right.
But I think another thing that happens is I need my partner. If my partner's asking something of me that I don't want to give,
Hmm.
and I'm frustrated, and I'm like, okay, I will give you that. I will offer up. I will say, even though I don't want to limit myself in this way, I will. Give me something. I want you give me something. And
So a transactional
yeah, now we're
experience.
down into the
Hmm.
transactional, which isn't, you know, when we get into the definition of reciprocity, that's the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit, which does not mean they will be the same things. It doesn't mean we're going to always trade the exact same things. In fact, that would be kind of funny, right? Like, so I'm going to trade 10 blueberries for your 10 blueberries.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I
Oh,
guess we can, but why?
yeah.
Um, we're never going to be trading exactly the same things. We can't, like when it comes to relationships, we can't because like our feelings are different. So so as we've been working through this, the thing that just keeps coming to the top for me is how it is my child parts who desperately want reassurance. Yeah, and also my adult parts. Somebody in a recent cohort said, yeah, you know what? It's not a child part. It is an adult part of me who was in a really unfortunate relationship that did not work at all well and left me with some big scars that I have not dealt with.
Yeah.
And so that part of me that's all beat up and feels like nothing is fair just wants this to be fair because fair will feel like, well, at least something's fair, even though this isn't really getting me what I want. And all of this speaks to the need to be in the process with the unique individuals that we happen to be
Hmm.
relating with. Like we
Yeah.
chose each other. Like I chose your mess. I chose each of my partners. I choose these particular messes to be in relationship with. It's not going to be fair,
Yeah. It's
but it
not going.
can be mutual. It
Yeah.
can be beneficial. It can be deeply satisfying and reciprocal, but it's not going to be, it's, it, it, it's just not going to be all the same and even.
And I find that yeah, it's not going to be the same and even. And one of the things that people sometimes do to try to make it even, I'm sure I've done this, is I will insist that I can reassure you with whatever would reassure me.
Yeah.
That's how I invoke fairness in this particular situation
And then even accidentally disparaging each other because it's not working.
because it's not. That's right,
Yeah.
and
Like,
that's
no,
not.
I would feel good if somebody told me this. And
Yeah.
that brings us
Yeah.
back to how this is an ongoing. Like reassurance isn't something we check off a list and it's done.
Hmm.
Reassurance is being in the relating. And I've heard more than a few people sit in session with me and just say, like, no, I don't want to offer any reassurance. I don't want to. We hash this out. We have an agreement. I want that to be good enough. I'm done.
Yep.
And my question is, so what's your relating going to be about? What will you relate about? Because if you're not willing to bear witness to their doubts and fears and pain over the course of time, maybe this relationship needs to take on a different form. Maybe this relationship isn't one for sharing doubts and fears and stuff. And that calls into question like, okay, so what is the format? Maybe this relationship needs to be reimagined
Yep.
into a form where it is entirely focused on the set of things where we do overlap and we do feel safe, and that's enough.
Yep. What kind of relationship is this? What's it for?
I've seen
For these
people
people.
de-nest from each other to serve this purpose, end their sexual relationship with each other to serve this purpose. Like, yes, let's let go of what I need this reassurance for because the reassurance isn't available. Okay, so we can't have that, which doesn't necessarily mean the whole relationship has to be over. That now we get into, do you want to reimagine? Do you want to be in a process of reimagining, which is a big process? We've got a whole episode on reimagining and some future work. We're still developing some further frameworks around that because it's such a big process. But the reimagining process says, yeah, anything is possible. You could reimagine this relationship into a new form. And also, you're not beholden to reimagine it into a form
Yep.
that doesn't work for you. Okay, I think we've hashed through this deeply enough that I feel like I've said what I need to say. I know that this is very much a work in progress, and originally I'd thought of reassurance as it comes up around the repair skills for me a lot, but I think this is also just an ongoing relational skill.
Yeah,
And
I hear the need to acknowledge this other unique, this sacred unique other. This person is not me, and engaging them in a way that allows me to reassure you in your dynamic selfhood, which will moment to moment change.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
moving parts there.
So the act of agreeing to be in a mutually beneficial relationship
Mhm.
means getting to know what reassurance looks like and feels like for the other, being willing to be in the unknown, and being willing to brave being witnessed. Yeah, sounds like relating to me.
It does.
Okay, messy conversation for sure. I'm really glad we had it. Thanks,
Well,
Ken.
thank you.
We talk to you all the time. It is absolutely imperative to me that we get to hear from you as well.
Yes, please.
So we'd love to invite you to join us. Join Ken and I. We're holding monthly Ask Me Anythings. You can show up, bring your questions from podcast episodes, from your relationships, bring questions about non-monogamy, about individuation, about relationship skills. We would love to share space with you. We're hosting these AMAs free of charge for our podcast listeners. You are the Playing with Fire community, and it matters a ton to us that we connect with you directly. So
Oh,
go,
I would so love to hear your questions, and it'd be so awesome.
yeah. Go to joliehamilton.com/AMA and you'll find a way to sign up real quick and get an invitation to join us in a small group where we're going to get together and talk about all things non-monogamy, individuation, and relationships.